Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to go over one particular weapon, and today that will be the M60, one of my favorite weapons in the game. Rolling in the background is footage of the attachments I utilize for the M60. It's important to note that for all of the LMGs I build, I make sure to use primary gunfighter. I think that the extra attachments on the LMGs is unmistakably the smartest way you can build this class. While ARs and submachine guns will benefit from a lot of perks, mobility, stealth, etc., LMGs are going to be focusing on covering angles and sight lines and really just holding down the trigger above all else. Now that I explained why I use all 18 attachment slots for the LMGs, let's kind of go through what we're running here. First, you don't have a penalty for using a sight with primary gunfighter, so you're going to want to pick the sight and reticle of your choosing. Then you're going to want to run SOCOM Eliminator or Agency Suppressor if you are in the mood for a silenced LMG. Then you're going to want to move on to the Task Force barrel for the bonus damage, and also some range and bullet velocity, which makes a big difference in hit detection. For the body attachment, this one is going to be up to you. I personally like a lot of reveal distance and hip fire accuracy, just in case someone rushes me and I get barrel stuffed and I can't aim down sights fast. I just spray and pray. Then for barrel, I like the field agent grip. It helps with some recoil. But if you're using the gun a lot, you can change that around and maybe go with something mobility, especially if you like running around a bunch with your M60. Moving on to the magazine slot, this one's pretty self-explanatory. You don't want to put the big ass mag. There's really no argument here. This is some footage highlighting why we run a 125 round magazine. Sometimes you need 125 bullets to kill a single enemy. Look at this. This is immaculate aim. This is perfect LMG play. After the mandatory magazine, we're going to move on to the next two slots, which are both negotiable if you don't want to run primary gunfighter. I like Elastic Wrap Airborne because I like drop shotting. And the stock, I like the Raider stock. I like sprint to fire time or shooting move speed, up to you. But again, you're not moving a ton with this class, so those two slots, if you have to get rid of primary gunfighter, that's where I would start shaving off attachments. You got your M60 set up now. Let's see how it works in application. This is one of my favorite best plays of all time. This is just amazing, highlighting every single round in that 125 round magazine. What happens is you really just want to hold down the trigger, and enemies tend to put their heads in the stream of your gunfire. Enemy comes around the corner and the freest headshot of our life. Thank you, sir. Going to go through a bit of a longer life on this one. I personally like drop shotting primarily because I don't have one of those $300 paddle controllers where you get the ability to halo jump on demand. So I think of drop shotting as sort of like a budget halo jump when you got one of those nice elite controllers. But anyway, enemies are going to spawn behind us. We're just going to continue to hold down the trigger and free triple kill. Then this part is really interesting because I get a challenge here that I thought I would never get. It's the basically the LMG challenge, right, where you hold down the trigger and get a triple kill while you're hip firing. So I wasn't even trying to do that. I just had I think it was a spy plane or a harp to call in. So I just kind of held down the trigger while on the phone with the bros at HQ, telling them to get me a harp so I can see what was happening around me. Got that challenge. Continue to work the sight line, get the VTOL. So I've shown plenty of times where you really just want to hold down the trigger, but I haven't really shown the cost of that. So this clip is going to highlight just how ridiculously long it is to reload that 125 round mag. It's a good chunk of time, ladies and gentlemen. So don't expect to be performing many reloads on the fly. You are going to be needing to hide, and if you're playing with friends, make sure that they are well aware you're reloading because you are out of the fight completely. So we're going to push the hard point here. Going to get some, I'm going to call that a pre-fire kill. He kind of just ran into the stream of bullets, which happens so much with LMGs and part of the reason why I love them. Friendly reminder, don't be afraid to hold down the trigger. This is why we built for it. Look at this. This is 80 rounds fired into the spawn, 0 confirmed kills. I'm pretty good at this game. With the M60, even more so than the other LMGs, it's important to make sure that you are covering angles of attack, particularly on objectives. I included this clip because I found it hilarious. I'm shooting at this guy, been holding down the trigger a bit too long. I gotta get the reload off. He Molotovs and shoots at me, and then forgets where I'm at as he goes to check the other corner. One of the most important skills you need to develop while using LMGs is going to be the decision-making process that goes into ADS or not to ADS. Right here, this is a hold down, no questions asked, just hold it down. But here, I really should have hip fired. I must have been host. That SMG really should have melted me. Another important part of the game when you're playing with LMGs is your positioning. With objective-based game modes and LMGs, the objective is your best friend. You're going to want to cover those objectives, either secure flanking routes and make sure enemies aren't going to be flanking your team. Or like I like to do on Nuketown especially, park on that car where the desk can't be and make sure that the enemies just cannot get past your impenetrable barrier of just never-ending stream of bullets. Gonna just do some LMG stuff here while we're saved by our friendly, I might add. And then we're gonna cover B, holding down the trigger, making sure that nobody's able to cap it while we're here. Confirm the kills, watch the sideline, make sure they're not pushing on this left flank, and objective secure. Hopefully you learned something from today's video, whether it's how to position yourself using light machine guns, or what attachments you want to put on your M60. But it is important to note that sometimes I am in fact an idiot. In this clip right here, we're going to hold down the trigger on an invisible enemy, and then what happens here? Oh.